course I'd be greeted by Matthew. Hi, Shana Tova, everyone. For the many of you I don't know, my name is Sam Lauter. I live here in San Francisco. Louder? Louder. Sam Lauter. Excuse me for using notes, but I have a tendency to ramble on when someone is crazy enough to put a mic in front of my face. You may ask, why is this guy standing up here? Don't worry, I won't be hurt. I've asked the same question. But when Ofer says do it, as it's been proven over the last many months, it's very difficult to say no. Ofer, will you please wave to everybody here, our founder of Unacceptable. So a little bit about me and why I'm here. One side of my family came to San Francisco before the gold rush. The other side at the end of the 1800s. I truly love San Francisco, and I typically tell people that there isn't anywhere else I can call home, except Israel. When I'm in Israel, my friends all say I have that look in my eyes, the look that says you're home. Israel wrapped itself around my soul a long time ago. My family has been passionate and active Zionists for almost 100 years. My grandma Rose, a whole bunch of us probably have a grandma Rose, was involved in the National Zionist community pre-modern state, and my mom and dad picked up from her and passed it down to me, and I've passed it along to my kids. The first time I remember being conscious of my own love affair with Israel was when I was 7 and my family took our first trip to see our homeland. When I was 15 and went with my confirmation class, and if anybody from Congregation Beth Shalom is here, a shout out to you. Woo! I knew that summer there was no question Israel was always going to be an integral part of my very existence. My personal activism has manifested in being deeply engaged locally and nationally with a number of organizations. And I'm told my involvement with AIPAC is how most people associate me. No, I'm not going to debate AIPAC with you today. The actions it takes to fulfill its responsibilities and how it's addressed the current environment, this isn't the time nor place. I strongly believe in its purpose, and I'm grateful for many amazing accomplishments the organization has made on behalf of Israel and the friendship between two democratically elected governments. I only bring it up because one of the principles of AIPAC engagement is that we, as Americans, do not get involved with internal Israeli politics. Our children aren't serving in the IDF, we don't live surrounded by hostile neighbors, and most of us are not 1 degree removed from someone who lost their life to a terror attack. You can certainly have and share an opinion, which those of you who know me know I most definitely do, but I have always adhered to the thou shalt not interfere principle. Until now. When the likes of Maddie Friedman, Yossi Klein, and Daniel Gordis say it's time, you know it's time. When hundreds of thousands of Israelis take to the street every single week and say it's time, you know it's time. When you see that the government in power is trying to change the very essence of what Israel has been and should be, you know it's time. I cannot sit idly by while the diaspora minister insults the reform community, when an education minister is a proud and outspoken homophobe, when the police minister flaunted the prime minister's hood ornament and threatened him shortly before he was assassinated, and is a convicted criminal who hangs portraits of a mass murderer in his living room. Shame, 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 shame. When the minister in charge of the West Bank wants to wipe out a Palestinian village, when the communications minister wants to shut down public TV because it isn't biased towards his goals, when the ego of the foreign minister is more important than actual diplomacy, when the prime minister leaves on a trip to Israel and compares these patriots to BDS supporters in the PLO. When and when and when and when? I often say that I find myself hugging and wrestling with Israel at the same time. My life would be so much easier if I just walked away. But I can't. My life would be incomplete, my soul would be straining, my brain would explode, I would not be me. I've been asked by many, are you going to give up on Israel now? Give up? When someone you love needs you, when they're in trouble, do you leave them to fend for themselves? No, you embrace them. You embrace them harder than you ever have before, and work with those who see a way toward healing what you perceive as ailing. Israel is far from perfect, nor should we expect it or any other country to be. But I believe Israel has consistently strived for perfection. This government makes it hard to believe that at the moment. But I know the Israel I love hasn't gone anywhere and is worth fighting for. So embrace and fight, I will and I am. I will spiritually stand by the tens of thousands who are marching through the streets of Israel and raising their voices opposed to ideas that are going too far. And I had the honor to physically stand with them last May when I was in Tel Aviv. I will search for and work with organizations like Unacceptable, articulating an intelligent opposition while continuing to stand with Israel, because just as I didn't oppose my home, the United States, when the prior administration was in power, but instead fought for the vision I have of what America can be, I will do the same for my homeland. Jews have only one Israel. Our people were born there. We prayed to return for thousands of years from every corner of the planet, and we finally did. For the last 75 years, Israel has shown an incredible resiliency born of love and necessity. President Biden is fond of telling a story about the first time he met Prime Minister Golda Meir. We have a secret weapon, Senator Biden, she said. We have nowhere else to go. In one sense, I also have nowhere else to go. I have no other Israel, so embrace and fight I will. And I can't tell you how incredible it is to see all of you embracing Israel too. Am Yisrael Chai.